Hi, this is Rogue Jiu Jitsu, and we're going to go through a short video about training and safety guidelines. So our goal at Rogue Jiu Jitsu is to create a safe, respectful, and fun training environment to bring you back over and over again. First of all, we're going to cover illegal and dangerous techniques. Second, we're going to go through some techniques that are allowed in various Jiu Jitsu competitions, but for safety reasons at Rogue, we're going to ban those. And we're going to go through a final category of more advanced techniques that you can use at your discretion if you're a more advanced practitioner. If it's your first couple weeks, couple months, we recommend not doing. So let's get started with the illegal and dangerous techniques. As Jiu-Jitsu is a grappling art, that means that's all we focus on. We focus on holds, pins, kind of moving people around, but we're never going to be looking to do any kind of striking. So striking includes things like punches, kicks, knees, elbows, and headbutts. For example, my partner can't strike me to the face, punches. He can't elbow me, right? If he were to get some space, he can't just kick my legs or anything like that. No stomping, no soccer kicks, not allowed in Jiu-Jitsu. The other thing we can't do in our sport is slamming. So slamming can come in different forms. So one could either be where I'm already on the ground and my partner picks me up and then drops me to the ground with strong force. That is illegal in our gym and in many jiu-jitsu competitions. We also can't do this from a standing context. So if my partner, Constantine, were to take me down, he can't pick me up, pause, and then look to throw me onto the ground with incredible force. If he wants to take me down, it has to be continuous, right? In one motion, he's gonna go all the way through, and that's okay. But there can't be a break between the initial lift and then the final drop. So the other type of slamming comes from escaping submissions, and this is also illegal. So if I have my partner in a submission hold, like a triangle choke, he can't pick me up and then try and slam me to get out of it. Some other moves we do not allow are strikes to the groin, which hopefully is pretty obvious. So whether any body part he's trying to use to strike me, whether it's punches, knees, things like that, do not strike to the groin. When you're working with women, try and avoid your hands on their chest. It's very difficult to completely avoid the area, unfortunately, in grappling, but just try and not focus your hands over there, right? Find the shoulders, find the waist or something else. Find a different place to put your hands. If you're going to grab the hands, you must grab at least 4 fingers. You can't grab 3 or fewer fingers. You can't grab individual fingers. And the same goes for the toes, okay? Don't grab individual toes. Keep your hands outside your partner's mouth, eyes, any other orifice, like inside the ears. We don't need to demonstrate this one, hopefully. There is no tickling or pressure to sensitive areas. No coochie coochie goo to your partner. That's not allowed. And you also can't pull hair. Sometimes you accidentally grab hair, just let that go. None of this in Jiu-Jitsu. We're not gonna demonstrate this because I'm scared, but there is no suplex takedown. So basically a suplex is when someone were to grab you from behind, take you all the way overhead, and were to drop you potentially straight on your neck, which is very dangerous, and we're not gonna allow that to happen. In the gi, there are a couple additional restrictions on what you can and can't do. So while we can always grab sleeves, collars, even inside the waistline, one specific grip you can't do in Jiu-Jitsu is to grab with your fingers inside the sleeve. Okay, this is actually dangerous for the grabber, and this is not allowed. The same is true for grabbing inside the pants. Okay, so if I want to grab inside the pants, I cannot stick my fingers inside and grab like this. I can put my thumb inside if I grab my 4 fingers on the outside and use my thumb on the inside. So generally speaking, think about fingers on the outside, thumb inside okay, fingers on the inside is illegal. In the course of training, your belt might come undone. You're never allowed to use this as a form of choking your opponent, as fun as it might look. The other thing which isn't explicitly banned is just if your body part gets stuck in someone's gi, if we're moving here and my foot gets caught like this isn't necessarily illegal, but there is some risk to this. So just stop training, ask your partner to allow you to retract your foot and reset the position. Since Constantine and I right now are both wearing no-gi apparel, which is rash guard and shorts, just a reminder that in no-gi, we actually cannot grab the fabric at all. So that's completely banned as well. The next set of techniques we're gonna go over are techniques that are allowed in some rule sets in Jiu-Jitsu, but for our student safety, we don't allow them at our gym. And they are jumping closed guard, any kind of jumping submission attack, Kani Basami or the flying scissor takedown, and specifically when your opponent is either on their knees or in a turtle position and pulling them straight backwards. These are all dangerous submissions or dangerous movements that we want to limit for safety reasons. So jumping closed guard means when we're both standing and I just look to jump and wrap my legs around my partner's waist, like this, okay? If he's not ready for it or if I have poor technique, there's risk to his knees, okay? The second is any kind of flying submission. An example would be a flying armbar. Anytime we're in this type of spot here, we're both on our feet, and I jump for a submission. So that's illegal. Flying triangles are also illegal. So if I were here, okay. The other type of flying attack is what's called a Kani Basami, or the flying scissor takedown. I'm gonna do this extremely slow because this technique has an extreme high risk of damage. So oftentimes we have one leg trapped between. If I bring this leg behind like this and sit my partner down, there's a really good chance that I can blow out his knee. And so that's illegal as well. And finally, the last one is anytime our partner is on their knees or in a turtle type position and I'm on their back, if I bring them straight back this way and my partner isn't flexible, they can have damage to their knees. So when we're in this position, we're always looking to bring them more sideways or over their shoulders, okay? So no bringing people directly behind them when you're on your knees or in a turtle position. The last set of techniques we'll go over are those that we limit to only advanced students. There's a little bit of subjectivity here, but basically you should have at least a few months of experience. And we limit these because while they are effective for jiu-jitsu, we think that if both you and the person you're applying these moves on are unaware of the position, there's also a higher risk of damage or injury. So the first one we'll talk about is any kind of submission that twists the knee. A lot of us are probably familiar with heel hooks, where we're looking to create rotational pressure on the knee. This is problematic if we're trying to do something like a Z-lock, which is definitely a much more advanced movement. We have opportunity to twist the knee here as well, or any kind of lateral knee bar, where we're attacking a knee bar from the side. So a straight knee bar is fine, but when we're elevating into the side of their joint, that is illegal for early students as well. In jiu-jitsu, there's also a concept called reaping, and that's when my leg comes from the outside in, and we have the opportunity to actually create rotational pressure on the knee with my hamstring curl like this. This is illegal when this foot is also trapped. Okay, so there are some nuances here. Just for simplicity, if you're a beginner, just don't let this leg come over. But if you're more advanced and you understand what reaping really is, the foot that's trapped, so not this foot, but this foot, has to be isolated for it to be considered reaping. So if I have a grip on this foot, then this is a reap. If I'm not touching this foot, then it is not a reap. Just don't let this foot come across. If you're more advanced and understand, then reaping is only when this foot's also isolated. When he's standing, by definition, his foot is trapped. It has nowhere to go, so it doesn't matter if I'm touching it or not. As soon as my foot drifts across his hip, this is considered a reap. So we cannot do this when we're on the bottom, unless you're a more advanced student. Constantine's gonna put me in the twister right now, right? This is going to create pressure on my spine, and this is illegal for beginner students. Any kind of neck crank where we're just attacking the neck. So for example, the can opener is a very common one. In the closed guard, he's just looking to grab my neck and pull. It's dangerous, and we are not allowed that for beginner students. Two other techniques which are less about danger and more just about being nice to your partners. One is called the muffler, which is really just about covering your partner's nose and mouth for breathing. So if I'm attacking a rear naked choke, maybe I'm getting a little frustrated and I just look to cover his face so I restrict his breathing. That's not allowed for beginners. And the other thing that we don't allow is front chokes. For example, if my partner is just grabbing one hand or two hands directly on my neck, this is not a way that we allow you to choke your partner. We'll teach you better ones in future classes. The last thing to keep in mind is that these are guidelines for all the moves we ban or restrict. If you're uncomfortable with you or your partner performing any other movement, whether it's for your own safety or lack of knowledge, or for whatever reason you just don't want to do it, you don't need a reason. Just tell your partner that, hey, can we please not do XYZ move? I'd like to keep that out of my training. And at Rogue Jiu Jitsu, we will respect that.